love of liberty, in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare, side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land, we pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our
Heavenly Father, we come before you at the start of this new day, giving thanks for life, for health, and the opportunity to serve through this station. We ask for your divine presence to guide us in all we do. Bless this broadcast, that it may be a source of inspiration, joy, and unity to all who tune in. Whether near or far, may our words uplift, our music heal, and our message bring light to those who need it most. We pray for our listeners wherever they may be. Grant them strength for the day ahead, peace in their hearts, and success in all they put their hands to. Cover those traveling with your protection and those at home with your comfort and provision. Lord, may everything we do bring honor to you and be a blessing to others. Guide our steps, bless our efforts, and let this station be a vessel of positivity and hope. In your name we pray. Amen.
Your voice, your soundtrack, your station. New Era TT Radio. At radio.
I see she come in the bed and she looking all around and she get frightened when she see a set a man. Whoa, badabadi-da-di-da-di, badabadi-da-di-da-di, badabadi-da-di-da-di. Where you going? Where you going? Stand up there and take the jamming. Why you only looking down at your watch, girl? Make your whole body rock and take that. It's not what I in the kettle pot. Back why you going round the block? When we ready from the iron drum. Right back when I hit this spot. Just belt ways like betting is your profession. I go wait till your bumper confession. I'm not no sukunya, no large bless, no. Just come to get on, but come to says, yeah. Don't be afraid, girl, don't reject me. Why don't you throw it back, let we say? But the more you resist, the more they come. It's like throwing sugar on the ground and watching the ants move along. No, this is just how we party. This is how we jam. Loosen your waist and turn around. Go back down now. It's not what I make a tell, but why you going round the block? When you reading from the iron job. Right back when I hit this spot. Just belt ways like betting is your profession. I go wait till your bumper confession. I promise to take my time, show respect, yeah. Put my hands by my side, keep them in check. If you want take me down, we could go down there. The lower we go, the more jamming you go get. But the more you resist, the more they come. It's like throwing sugar on the gong and watching the ants move along. No, this is just how we party. This is how we jam. Loosen your waist and turn around. Go back down now. It's not what I in the kettle pot. Back why you going round the block? When you rhythm from the iron drum. Why back when I hit this spot? Just spell ways like betting is your profession. I go wait.
Wake up, rise up. It's the Net Radio Breakfast Show, bringing you the energy, music and vibes to start your day right.
And she get frightened when she see a set a man.
And of course, yes, that is what we're doing, making sure that we start your day very right. Good morning, everybody, and of course, welcome to it. Good to have you here on New Era TT Radio, the heartbeat of the Caribbean, as we take you above and beyond. What a beautiful, God-blessed day it is. So let's say thanks to the Heavenly Father for bringing us together inside of this one. All that we do, dear God, let it be a blessing on to you. Sir Charles, that's me, and happy am I to be here with you. Even happier when I hook up with a team that is coming in right about now. So everybody, welcome to your Get Up and Go, the breakfast show.
Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The breakfast show got the vibes turned on. From Maracas Bay to the Savannah line, let's start the day in Caribbean prime. Good vibes rolling through the air. The breakfast show, energy everywhere. We talk, we laugh, we make you think. Grab your doubles or your morning drink.
Good morning, and welcome to the Breakfast Show on this Thursday morning. And of course, the weekend begins tonight, people, at a second after midnight. And you know, we love a weekend on the Breakfast Show. So good morning to all our listeners and viewers, wherever you are in Trinidad and Tobago, up the Caribbean, or across the planet, North America, South America, Europe, Asia, wherever you are, even down under, welcome. And good morning on the Breakfast Show this morning, coming to you live out of Trinidad and Tobago, of course. And of course, let me say a special good morning to my co-hosts, Sir Charles and Wendell. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Sir Charles. Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. And good morning, listeners and viewers all over the globe. It's a beautiful Thursday morning. Is it 6th of the 6th? But there's a mark somewhere in there.
No, the 5th.
Today's the 5th. I don't know where you're traveling. I'm going to think that
is it June 5th or June 6th?
It's June 5th.
June 5.
It's Cinco. So it's Cinco de Junio.
I was drinking or what?
All I had for the morning is... All I had for the morning is...
Something, Sir Charles. You see it with confidence, sir? The 6th of the 6th.
I had a half a cup of coffee, and now I'm finishing a bottle of water. I think some of these companies need to start sponsoring the show, because we talk about coffee and water all the time. You understand? They need to start advertising on the show. They can't get better. Look at that, Richard with a cup of coffee, I with a bottle of water. Yeah? No water. I not seen it. It's clear.
And you're so right. You're so right.
Yeah. So yeah, we're happy to be in the land of the living. For those who would have lost loved ones, condolences, and those who are celebrating birthdays today, who would that be?
I can tell you, one of them for sure is my nephew, Jean-Luc. So Jean-Luc Darbo, happy birthday to you. I know you're probably sleeping, but happy birthday to you, Jean-Luc, and my dear nephew, who is like a genius with cars. It's certainly one of his gifts. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's he just loves cars.
Okay.
So any issue that I would have with a car, I would call him first, and he would be able to analyze the problem with me. He's that good. Okay. And strangely enough, you would think he's getting into auto mechanics and stuff like that. No, he isn't. He's actually right now in medical school. So Jean-Luc, good morning to you.
All right, that's a nice.
I'll give him a call later on.
Today is also the birthday of Lisa Sargent. She is celebrating.
Okay, good morning. Happy birthday, Lisa.
Yeah, and Avia Liverpool, she is at TSTT. Avia's still there? I think she is. she is also celebrating her birthday today. Ramona Prince Ambrose, Lizzie Josephine, all these people I don't know them. Johnson Kizzy, or Kizzy Johnson, I guess. Neville Duaro, he is actually from Zimbabwe. That's a young man I met some years ago. Stephen McCubbin, he is from Jamaica. He was actually a local government official in Jamaica. He was on that trip that we went to China. He was part of the Jamaica delegation to China. So he is celebrating a birthday today. And Stephen Ross is also celebrating a birthday today. They are all celebrating birthday today. Cinco de Junio. We've rechristened today.
No, you have. Don't say we.
Somebody messaged me. I'm sure it's about a birthday. I'm sure it's about a birthday. Let me see. Okay. All right. Okay. What is that?
Well, just giving a little background music for,
Oh, I thought I was for your nephew.
Celebrating birthdays. But, but I suppose we should just get straight into the good news for today.
Yes, let's do that.
So let me get straight into that. Of course, it's time for our good news to start you off right on this Thursday morning.
Beaches that look fake until you're actually standing there. But it's the people that stole my heart. Funny, generous without trying.
I think you lost volume there a little bit.
I don't know why I'm lost volume. Oh.
Yeah.
Islands all raw beauty. From dense jungle to beaches that look fake until you're actually standing there. But it's the people that stole my heart. Open, funny, generous without trying. Hospitality here isn't a job. It's just how they are. Come with an open heart and an empty stomach. I'll be back, no question about that.
Yeah, I was trying to fix it because it kind of started midway now.
Is that
Trinidad stole my heart.
roti?
Here's why. The food is a riot of flavor. Lobster roti, bacon shark, street food that never compromises. The island's all raw beauty. From dense jungle to beaches that look fake until you're actually standing there. But it's the people that stole my heart. Open, funny, generous without trying. Hospitality here isn't a job. It's just how they are. Come with an open heart and an empty stomach. I'll be back, no question about that.
All right, so that's our good news. Of course, a visitor to Trinidad and Tobago. What's her name? Sabrina. I can't remember Sabrina's surname right now. So it's her content. But she did quite a bit, on going to different restaurants and doing a lot of street food and stuff. So I just decided to place one of her pieces of content this morning as our good news in terms of, celebrating what we have.
I saw Wodemeyer, he goes around the world doing these videos of his travels and so on. And I saw he did one with some lions in Africa, some young lions actually, And
somebody told me to correct you that you were not the first Trinidadian to do it. Kizell Jackson beat you long before.
Kizell Jackson walked with lions already. Where's the video? The video.
Just go on the content. He beat you long time. So the time they put you in your place.
Where this video? One of them haters. And I don't know why I feel I know who it is. Haters. They pretend to be friendly, but they haters. Are you laughing?
They say put you in your place.
You laughing?
That video with walking with
and you know I know who it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so here we are. Let me greet some people, man. Let me see who's on the line. It's one of those days. Susan Jessup, God's grace, love, blessings, thank you. From Susan, Suzette, and Mrs. Gemma. All right, that came in at exactly 12. Yes, and at 12:01, she says she's going back to sleep. Alicia from Charfleur, Brennan Smith from Goodwood in Tobago, Anthony Tinto from Ontario, Doreen Pear from Gastonia, North Carolina. NC will be North Carolina, I think.
Yes, it is.
I've never heard of the place called Gastonia though. Valsay North, Marlon Motley coming in. Wendy and James from Aranguez. Carol Guevara from Central Trinidad. Margaret Thomas, Sherwin Kerr from Arima. He and Juliet are en route to Bimshire, that's Barbados, I guess. Wishing the breakfast team and all listeners and viewers a wonderful morning and great day. Marcia, have I ever told you about my experience in Barbados? Why I've never gone back?
Is it something that's radio and television friendly? Because
it is. I went to Barbados once, years ago, and I had this out of body, this out of body experience you get when you're in a hotel. Well, I was in a hotel room and I was in the bed and I was lying down and I couldn't get up. And I'm looking at this at the ceiling and I can't get up. So you're feeling like something pressing you down. And other people have talked about those experiences. I can't remember what they call it, but and then I just started to pray. Say the Lord's Prayer over and over and over again. And I felt like I was there forever, just looking up at the ceiling. And I got up and I left that hotel room. I said, I am not staying inside of there. So on the way back to the airport now, I'm sitting in the front seat. And at that time, there wasn't a seatbelt law. But I asked the driver still, I said, should I put on my seatbelt? He said, no, you don't have to put on your seatbelt here. So I left my seatbelt off, you know me. And he's driving on the way to the airport. And I'm watching him, right? Every now and then I glimpse a and he looks, I said, that man don't look normal. And somehow or the other, that man looked at, Barbados had those kind of little minibuses that they transport people in. That man, Richard, heading to the airport, going at how much ever miles per hour, runs straight into the back of that bus with Wendell Stevens sitting in the front seat. My head went forward and hit the windscreen. And cracked, the windscreen cracked. I got out. I said, what is crazy?
What is going on today?
I sat at the side of the road and all my partner could say is, hey, we're late for the flight. We had to get to the airport. And we had to jump in, flag down a taxi and jump. I said, never me again in Barbados. Twice in one day? No. I leave that. I never went back to Barbados. My paternal grandparents are Bajan. I have never gone back there. And I probably never will. Barbados, I'm sorry. So that's my experience in Barbados. One-on-one.
You had an out-of-body experience.
And
there's a scientific explanation. There's a scientific explanation for that, right?
There probably is. I know people have spoken about it, that experience where you lie down on your bed and you're up, but you can't move. People have spoken about those experiences. I don't know what they call it.
And there's a scientific explanation for it. But
you know what's the name of it?
I shouldn't have prayed. You
could do whatever you want, sir. You could also drink puncheon. That might wake you up too.
That would probably put him in a deeper sleep.
No, well, the driver nearly put me in a permanent sleep after.
Yeah, boy.
Anyway, Marcia Rock says good morning. Joyce Phillip, Boy Bidesi from Debe, Ian Phillips, Brent Hackshaw, thank you for that wonderful informative interview yesterday with Senator Lalit. Somehow it made me feel light the rest of the day. Thank you very much, Brent Hackshaw. Wayne Ramsey from Fort Lauderdale, Apollonius, good morning, Wendell and Searcher. Well, welcome to Richard Apollonius. Good morning all from DL. Frank Clark says, good morning, crew trainees living in Barbados. Frank Clark, sorry, I ain't coming back Barbados. Lambert Bruce from Eldo says good morning. Cheryl Seeley says good morning. Anne Noel, Kathy Ann Charles, I found out who you are, Kathy Ann Charles, and you're welcome to come to Rumbox on Friday. That other person who you associate with will be here at Rumbox waiting to greet you, okay? Just remember that, Kathy Ann. Richard Jeremiah says good morning. Ingrid from Tucson, Arizona. Cheryl Johnson, blessed day from Malabar. Ozzy Molino. Robert Taylor from Fernandino Beach. Robert, nice chatting with you yesterday again, and thanks for all your assistance. Andre Reno from Beach. I went to Beach once. When I was driving through Beach, I switched off all the lights. you can't see nothing driving through that road when you switch off all your lights. You can't even see the person in the car next to you.
That's why he end up watching Ceiling and can't get up.
Felix Cazo from Maloney, Odell Guy, Julia Batiste, CJ from New York. Morning, CJ, darling.
Good morning, CJ. Good morning, Julia. Good morning, Mrs. R. Good morning, Marlon.
Ambrose Blah from New York, Rajiv Ramlal, Michael Mapp. DL says it's sleep paralysis. I know there's some spiritual thing to do. It has something spiritual with it. People say that, right? Because I only got out of that. Well, if you call it,
there's a scientific explanation. People may give it spiritual connotations, but it's still scientific.
Yeah, but you have to pray way out of it, Richard. Magic and Margaret Chow.
This morning, huh?
Margaret Chow is listed on TV from Grand.
Wait. So he keeps stressing there's a scientific. So what does that mean? There's no God in between here?
Oh, God, Sir Charles, you see where you're going to start now? Richard, remove him. Remove him, Richard. No, but seriously, it was a scary experience. I've never experienced it again, but I've heard other people talk about it. And also, when that man run into the back of that bus, I said, "What crazy? The man in the mash breaks, he just run full pelt into the back of a bus." Somebody trying to kill me in Barbados, let me leave. I've never been back.
Barbados don't have buck and thing, so it's Guyana.
They have.
What Barbados have?
Man, no. All I know, I've been all over this world and never experienced anything like that. But Barbados, I get it. Full pet.
Okay.
Richard is a regular in Barbados. Richard went to school in Barbados.
Yeah, I went to school there for 2 years. Yeah.
Well, then
it was the youth
and not only did I go to school there for 2 years, we also did American dance there.
I wonder if that hotel you all were in, boy, at one time. Maybe that's the room you spent in that room.
What's that?
Yeah, want to check the time stamp, know what year you went and what year they went.
Well, I'm trying to figure it out. It's a little while, you know. Richard went to school in Barbados about 40, 50 years ago.
So I was there for 2 years, and then I went back. The last time I went back was for American Dance, which is a few years as well.
Okay.
Because we did American Dance at the Frank Collymore Hall.
All right.
In their central
band. The name of the hotel I was in, honestly.
Yeah, well, with an experience like that, I think you would want to forget that hotel. Yeah,
no. Honestly, I've never been back to Barbados. This is more than 20 years ago. I've never been back to Barbados. And I've always wanted to. I've always thought about holidaying in Barbados again. And I just say, no, it's just like a mental block I have now for Barbados. You know? So that's Barbados for me. Anyway, so I've greeted everybody. Google the term sleep paralysis. So check images as well, and you'll see. Okay, I'll do that, deal. I'll do that.
Yeah. So we can start talking about something. Of course, the most important thing ever in all of the news today is the fact that Married and Mischievous is on Sunday at Sapa. One show only at 6:30 p.m. That's already all you need to know. You can go back in your bed. But
that's exclusive news you're talking about.
But Married and Mischievous is on Sapa. This, you know what?
That's play.
Because I can.
The only question I have for you is how you find your play going so far?
I was gobsmacked, to say the least. Very glad that I came to see it and can't wait for the next half. I am thoroughly enjoying it.
I think the play is fantastic, and I actually told my husband tonight that I think this is one of the most hilarious and phenomenal ones yet. Love that. So I was dying of laughter, and the plot is creative and fun, so I just think it's awesome.
So how you find your play going so far?
Oh, I'm loving it.
It was a wonderful performance, and it's so realistic. It just made us laugh a lot, but it is true to life.
How was the show tonight?
Oh, it was fantastic. We got fabulous actors.
Yes, we do.
It was a fabulous night. My husband laughed very loud. It was exciting.
It was excellent. I must say it was a refreshing look at real life aspect of a marriage. I find it was excellently portrayed, I must say.
It was really exciting. I laughed a lot. And the story was really, really good. The principles, that they talk about and share with us, it was really good to see they put that in humor, with humor.
San Fernando, we're here. The wait is over. The indisputable #1 comedy of 2025, Married and Mischievous, is in San Fernando for one night only at Sapa. Sunday, June 8th at 6:30 p.m. One show only. Tickets available at K Squared Fashion, C3 Center in Brentwood Mall, Fens by the Roundabout in Marabella, and at the Sapa box office 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily from Monday, 2nd of June. Married and Mischievous, one night only at Sapa, Sunday, June 8th. Strictly adults only. Don't miss it. So that was just a little
One of the patrons used a word in the beginning. They described it as some gobtra, some kind of experience. You picked up that?
Where is that? Somebody said something on the chat?
No. And the thing Richard played, the person said that they had a something experience.
Gobsmacked. That's the first girl. She said she was gobsmacked.
Gobsmacked. Yeah, what is it?
The meaning of gobsmacked.
We have actually used it on this show before.
Serious?
Yeah, we have actually used it on this show in its previous situation. We have actually used that word. Gobsmacked means like you were so you were so
overwhelmed with wonder.
By what you saw. Yeah.
Gobsmacked. Yeah, you're astounded.
Yeah.
So you're surprised. You're shocked.
Yeah.
So you're gobsmacked.
Pleasantly so.
Yeah, well.
Okay.
Pleasantly so.
I don't remember that word. I could use that in a number of different scenarios.
Yeah.
You just like the smack part. But,
the government part.
A lot of people are gobsmacked by this show, by this program, breakfast show.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So let's get into the back end of what's taking place in the news, because there's lots of stuff. One of them being the entire Angostura board resigned, because remember, the entire Angostura board resigned. Apparently, they were resistant to stepping down because the government changed.
Mm-hmm.
Because the government has a majority holding in Angostura. Is it majority?
I think they're majority shareholder.
Because they are the
It's part
the
of
majority shareholder through
I think
Clico.
government is majority.
It's through Clico when the Clico bailout issue.
Yeah.
And this was something I never understood, why the People's National Movement kept on to this. Why they didn't just sell the asset.
Well, Angostura was one of the most successful part of the asset, so nobody.
But I just don't find government should be in business like that.
Yeah, they didn't want to part with it, I guess.
Yeah, but I just think it should either you transfer it to the National Investment Fund or something like that, or sell it. Sell the assets, because it's just like they still have a holding in Republic Bank, not so?
Yes, but you know the flip side of that is that if you sell, or you're selling to the people financing you, the 1%ers, that's the flip side of that.
But I just don't find government should be in business. It should be a facilitator, not in. But I just need. So the entire board of Angostura Holdings has resigned one day after justifying its decision to remain in office despite a change in government. The newspaper, The Express, I'm reading from The Express, exclusively reported on Tuesday that the board of directors, whose members were appointed during the tenure of the PNM, had indicated it would continue to serve in the best interest of the majority of the company's shareholders. The Angostura board was led by Terence Barrett, senior counsel, and comprised directors Dr. Marianne Abdul Richards, Trisha Kusal, Franca Costello, Sterling Frost, and Jared Cooper. Following publication of the report and comments made on social media by Minister in the Ministry of Housing, Anna Roberts, the Express learned that 3 directors tendered their resignations on Tuesday, Richard, Kusal, and Cooper. The Express understands that the remaining directors also resigned later. Roberts has been lambasting board appointees on social media for the decision to hold on to office and not to allow the Cabinet predecessor government to appoint its own members and carry out its mandate and policies. So that's kind of like a brief synopsis of it. Of course, the other main story is I.S. Caesar has resumed as a High Court judge, even though apparently she is not sitting in an open court, but she is doing stuff from behind or something like that. I'm not too sure what that means. That sounds inappropriate, but anyway. Justice I.S. Caesar, who the Privy Council found was unlawfully forced out of office in 2017 by the Chief Justice Ivor Archie-led Judicial and Legal Services Commission, has resumed duty as a High Court judge. But she really fought a battle straight up to the Privy Council to get that reinstatement. And it must have been at considerable stress to her, because you were without a job for a while. You had reputational damage because of the issue, because Trinidadians love to comment on everything. Well, the entire world now apparently. And so she suffered reputational damage. You were without a job for that period of time, but she kept steadfast to her to what she was doing and all the way up. So she has been reinstated as a judge. So you're distracting me by not paying attention to me when I'm speaking.
I am listening to you.
Not just letting you know that you're distracting me by not paying
attention.
I'm already watching a blank screen with Sir Charles, and everybody else is in the ether. And so I am speaking to somebody and they're not paying attention to me.
I had a very important.
I need a breather. I need a breather.
But you're taking a breather?
No, I had a very important message to respond to. That's all. Sometimes when you leave these messages unresponded to, you get in more trouble than you get if you respond right away.
Quickly,
but I'm back and I just realized it's Thursday, so to hell with you. It's the weekend has begun.
It is about to begin. It didn't begin yet. Don't try that.
I think the weekend has begun second after midnight tonight. So anyway, so she's back as a judge. Of course, they have to pay her for 8 years' salary and benefits and allowances. They'll have to pay her back pay and all of that. So I mean, good for you for I.S. Caesar, Justice I.S. Caesar, for pursuing what you believe was your rights, pursuing your rights straight to the Privy Council. So that's one of the other stories that's making it. And of course, the main story on a lot of the newspaper. Well, is it on all three today? Well, no, one carries the I.S. Caesar, but the other two is the issue with President Maduro saying that some military force came from Trinidad and Tobago, but it was Colombians.
I think he said
Colombians, some paramilitary force, but they came from Trinidad and Tobago, which probably just means they came from the Gulf of Paria, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, there's nothing to say that they actually came across from Trinidad.
Yeah, it could be. You could chug your way all up from the rest of South America and enter the Gulf. But anyway, apparently they were some sort of paramilitary force from Colombia. Well, they were Colombians. I shouldn't say it's from Colombia. It sounds as if the state of Colombia.
They were Colombian.
Yeah, center force, and it's not that. They were Colombian. But anyway, that has engaged the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Trinidad and Tobago concerning the issue, because it made it sound, I guess, or President Maduro may have said it, it made it sound as if Trinidad and Tobago, I suppose, was somehow complicit.
Accommodating them.
Yeah. So the Defense Ministry, under Minister Wayne Sturge, who has also reached out to meet with his representatives, indicating that he will come on. Defense Ministry finds no evidence that armed men carrying weapons of war tried to enter Venezuela from TNT, but Maduro's charge under probe. So that's one of the headlines. So that's concerning, but we'll see where that leads in terms of that. One of the other newspapers says it rejects Maduro's claim. So our government is saying that there is no evidence that it came from Trinidad and Tobago's waters. I think that's what we are saying. At least I think that's what the government is saying. There's no evidence. that they came from TNT and tried to enter from TNT. So that's one of the other stories.
What about this much touted radar system that we've heard about for the last 20 odd years? Whatever happened to it?
When was the last time you hear about it?
You're doing on Mr. Patrick this morning. Are you doing on Mr. Patrick this morning? You're asking us questions we can't answer.
That's
a Mr. Patrick question.
Yeah, that's a Mr. Patrick question. What has become of it? Because you didn't even hear, I mean, you would think that something like that would be easily tracked and say, okay, it definitely didn't come from Trinidad. We have checked the radar, no boat passed there.
We can even find a floating rig that leak oil and drift oil into Tobago. We find 2 people.
Anyway, check it. I really need to fiddle around with these new powers that I have, you know.
Anytime they go into that mood, I will remind the audience. But anyway, let me go through the headlines so we can start taking some calls, because I know some people are anxious to call in. And come on, tell me what the poll is now, Wendell. You know, sometimes I have a poll, but sometimes this morning I don't. But for the last 2 mornings, I didn't have a poll.
But what could you pull from those articles that you would have read there? Because we have a guest in the next hour.
We do.
I have to also tell you, I reached out to Commissioner of Police, Junior Benjamin, and he did respond to me pretty late last night. So I only saw the message this morning. That so I am to follow up on that. But he has basically kind of given not an assurance, but a hint that he will in fact join us on the morning show.
And why wouldn't he? And it will be that'll be an interesting conversation, you know, in terms of what the TTPS is seeing.
Yeah.
And what the TTPS is doing, because they are indicating statistically that some of the percentiles are down in terms of serious crime. But you know, they kind of always say that in a kind of way. But
we have
yeah, but we will see.
Yeah, but
it's a conversation we could have. It's a conversation we could. There's always stuff to talk about when it comes to national security.
Oh yes.
Always stuff. So but I just wanted to get to the headlines, and then we will come back to taking.
And we can open up the lines. We got a poll from someone.
We have a special guest, of course, in the next hour. We have Tim Teemul, who will be joining us in the next hour, and we're talking AI filmmaking. AI. I was watching an interview with Anderson Cooper, and he was talking to one of the guys from Anthropic, which is one of the AI firms like ChatGPT, and he was saying that some of the jobs that you have in college-educated entry jobs within the next 1 to 5 years will disappear. Entry-level college jobs. Isn't that incredible? Because you know AI is going to affect a lot of stuff. But in the next hour, we are going to talk about AI filmmaking and artificial intelligence, and of course what Tim Teemul is doing in partnership with other people in terms of training people in AI, in not only in filmmaking, I guess, but also in the OJT program and stuff like that. So we'll be talking to Tim Teemul in the next hour. So that should be an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
And of course, let me just get to the headline so we can.
Yeah. But also to Richard, one of the interviews that I have been seeking, and I did reach out to that person too, is the new Minister of Public Administration and AI, Dominic Smith. Senator Dominic Smith. I did send him a message too. I haven't gotten a response date yet, but I did send him a message also. Right?
All right, great. So the Daily Express for today, but I kind of hinted what it was. Maduro's charge under probe. Defense Ministry finds no evidence that armed men carrying weapons of war tried to enter Venezuela from TNT, but his charge is under probe, and there is a picture of the Minister of Defense, Wayne Sturge, and of President Maduro. Cartel concert promoter, Forex transactions legal. So says he. Angostura board steps down. Of course, you'd have gotten more traction if you came on the program. Just saying. On the back page, an oily graveyard, Abu flags dumping at Chagaramas. So that's also on the back page of the Trinidad and Tobago Express. Maybe that's an interview we could set up maybe sometime next week with Gary. 12 dead turtles wash up yearly. Call to restrict net fishing. This is from the last Quiver store group. All of that's on the back, to the back page. Sando Hospital CT machines fail. Bodo demands full report. Sports, false and damaging. TTCB defends spending conduct. Sealy embracing TNT call up an England woman. Pamela Matthews less Windies. So that's that for the Daily Express. Moving on to the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian for this morning, this Thursday morning. Headline, TNT rejects Maduro's claim. Government says no evidence terrorist group used Trinidad to access Venezuela. Oil dump in Chagaramas. And this is the same Gary Abood story. So, I mean, that should be it looks pretty horrific, actually, from the picture. Cartel concert promoter, U.S. payment above board. And Munilal, mum on energy talks with the United States. And on the back page, Garcia warriors ready to deliver. So that's it for the front and the back of the Guardian. Moving on to the Newsday. I'm just zooming through these dailies, aren't I? The front page of the Newsday today. I.S. Caesar returns to bench after lengthy legal battle. Judiciary confirms. FFOS, oil being dumped in old boats. That's also on the front page of one of the dailies today. And on the back page, cricket board's lawyers deny allegations of impropriety. TCCB opens its books. Levi Spicer IKO knockout blow against St. Kitts. And that's it for our 3 dailies this morning. And if at some point you could come off your phone, Wendell, we could start taking calls. 281-1315, 281-1315. And let me put up the numbers so you can start calling. This is when we take some calls as we come up with a poll that we will put up on screen shortly and tell you what the poll is. But 281-1315, 281-1315, this is your opportunity to get interactive with us concerning the breakfast show this morning. Of course, several main stories. President Maduro's issue, Angostura board resigning, I.S. Caesar back in court. Those are 3 of the main stories off the top of my head. So we could poll the I.S. Caesar. We could because I saw a suggestion about the going after the Chief Justice once again, because that is one. I mean, it's going to fuel that kind of discussion. So we could pull something along those lines if you wish, or the Maduro story. Do you believe that Colombians were actually came from Trinidad and Tobago into Venezuelan waters? Do you believe President Maduro? Well, I think the I.S. Caesar story might have more traction in terms of saying, do you think, I suppose we could ask that question. We never asked it about whether you think the Chief Justice should resign as a result of the I.S. Caesar victory. Maybe we could ask that. Did we ever ask that? No, I don't think so. So we start taking your calls. You could start calling 281-1315.
I like the Chief Justice thing.
Sorry? Okay, we could ask that.
We could probably go in that direction. And by people, you can call us now, as Richard just said. We're able to take your calls on the many issues outside there. Let me say good morning to Colin, also to Miss Valerie, who was in very early this morning. To Riaz, good morning to you. Brendan George, good morning. And somebody else I saw, and Terry Ann Peters, up very early this morning. All right.
Let me also say good morning to Child of God, Ava Smith, Far Rockaway, Michael Robinson, RR Productions. Let me get that protocol right. Rita Bulu Jennings, Slick Money Grip, Beauty Culture, and Child of God. You just impressed me with one of your messages at 6:38. This is the message. He said, Wendell, you are actually looking much younger and relaxed than Richard. Child of God, you've gone to the best message that anybody has ever put on this chat for a long time. Look at that. You could do it. I know you could do it.
That's not the one who you say is bully all the time.
He gets a little out of hand every now and
All
then.
of
He
a
or
sudden,
she gets a little out of hand.
all of a sudden, they're non-bullying and they're
No, well,
wonderful.
that message.
You always
Yes,
bad
you-
talking that person.
Right.
Not so Charles a lying.
himself.
Charles tell me for lying. All of a sudden, a little flattery and you're in. Yeah, okay, Wendell Trump.
Come, let's take the callers, please.
Okay, Wendell Trump.
Guys, let's take the callers, please. Thank you very much. Good
We're
morning.
having a conversation.
But you invite the callers.
I'm just joking.
I'm sorry. Caller, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Richard, I heard you say something that I find interesting with reference, and they call her totally different names. I don't know if she got married or something, but I know her to be Caesar or something, so Master Caesar or something like that. But you said she would be paid her salary retroactive.
Yeah.
Is that what I heard?
8 years of judging salary.
I think that was part of the Privy Council judgment, so they have to pay her the 8 years.
Oh, the judgment was that.
In terms of
Okay.
the salary and allowances and all of that. Yeah.
Wow. So she lose all they do is save money for her. Interesting. All right, I just wanted to clarify that this woman had really lost anything. Well, she would have lost things, but it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Okay, thanks very much. Again, 281-1315 people. Before Richard goes on his rant again.
Hello?
Yes, it's there. Caller, good morning to you.
Yes, no, folk.
Good morning to you three.
Hi, morning.
Morning, Sina.
So what you feel when Richard Filian saying because he hear old grumpy man? And he's the main one.
Oh, yeah. He came up with that yesterday.
If that what you all said is the poll, my answer is hell no. But I just wanted to say, oh gosh, it's not out of my head now what I was going to tell all you.
Yeah, grumpy ladies too.
Say hell no. No, you know what I was saying? I want to compare why it is they want to run the Chief Justice. Every little thing they want to feel that the Chief Justice must go. But you take a man who was convicted and spent how much years, how much years, and then end up winning part of the case and come out, and he's a Speaker of the House. So what do you also say about that?
Good comparison, Zina.
Pardon me?
I said that's a good comparison, and we've never polled that actually.
Yeah, and how come the law association who like to always jump down on the Chief Justice? You know, then say I hear them make any noise about that. You know, I feel that was something they should have taken up, but they didn't take it up. But for years, he's a thing. The Chief Justice never had a charge. He never go to jail. Never do nothing. So he ain't going nowhere until the time already.
All right. Well,
okay.
You've set the tone for a poll, Zina. Thank you.
But even though that he has not made a jail and that sort of thing, he has made blunders.
Well, he's human. You know,
according to the Privy Council, you understand? Yeah. And judgments, he has made a number of blunders within his time, you know. Yeah. So we have this thing that we like to compare people, but everybody should be, you know, dealt with on their own merit and their situation.
Well, you can't help but compare situations sometimes, you know, Charles. You can't. We're only human. Human beings will do that. Compare situations.
Hello, good morning, caller. Sorry about that, Wendell.
Morning, everyone. This is the problem with these kind of shows. When they're making the public believe the Speaker of the House case wasn't dismissed. Like part of it was dismissed. It went to the Privy Council.
You are so whoever you are. You're the one who called and insulted Richard and I the other day. You are so disingenuous when they're making people believe. I didn't raise the issue about Jack. They were saying the caller did.
What you saying?
What minutes you talking?
All right.
Just go away now. If you have nothing else to do, go. Just the wrong person to attack, brother. Wrong person. Don't call this program and ascribe things to us that we didn't do. The other morning you call and say what? Oh, we did say what? We was there something was missing. And you had support from Far Rockaway on the chat. You understand? You had support from Far Rockaway on the chat with a set of stupidness. And he all should know better. You understand? At least he is identifiable. We know who Far Rockaway is, aka Big Guy. We know who he is. But a lot of you all come with this fake names and don't want to identify yourself with all this stupidness on a morning. Not me.
All right, calm down. Calm down. Caller, good morning to you.
Hi, good morning, Sir Charles, Richard, and Wendell. Wendell,
Good morning. Yes, good morning. How are you?
I know I understand where you're coming from to Wendell, but to let the vein pop this morning, I've seen the vein stand up by the side.
Yes, I'm good. I like the excitement sometimes.
I know that. You want to take over Richard. All right. My thing this morning, I could understand what you would when they with Barbados drivers and will fly. I don't know, I went Barbados twice and it's the speed. But I love Barbados. I love how transport easy to get, especially the buses. Less than 10 minutes to get in a bus. Or I feel PTSD needs to send somebody across there to see how they run the system. You understand? Because the bus service for PTSD is terrible right now. Terrible. You're waiting nearly 2 hours for one bus.
And sometimes they ain't getting it
to any
after 2 hours.
destination. It is really, especially now even with them school children, it was. That is one. 2, the part with Angostura. I would understand why the government would want to, once a government change, once it's government run, they suppose the board and them supposed to change. But my thing is, remember, cartel also sign up a deal with them, with the rum that they have. So I want to, even though they change it, they will be affected because they know they like to dig in and this and that and the other. But anyway, that's private thing and my business, whatever they do, they do. But at the end of the day, but gentlemen, great program. I'm just enjoying every day with you all. I mean, the program is top. You have everybody on the tools. Especially Richard. Oh my gosh. I like how you're bringing the theater into it too, because I look forward to that.
Okay.
Not only them bring it in the show too and all. Sir Charles, hats off to you. I love your musical. I just love the music that you play every day, especially on Sappy Sunday. Sir Charles, flowers to you, darling. Sappy Sunday gone was epic.
Thanks
Who
very
didn't
much.
tune in, hard luck. And gentlemen, Sir Charles, you need to let Richard and Wendell, you tune in to now on a Sunday. And I like to hear songs from both of you.
Susie, thanks much. So just wrap everybody's ego this morning. Nice. Thank you very much. All right, so we're taking your question. And just now we'll give you the pool. Hello, good morning, caller.
No, sorry. Yeah. Morning, guys.
Virginia.
Front and center. Hey, as the lady who just called in there, so Charles, which song topped out on Sunday?
I can't remember right now.
I couldn't listen. Did you remember?
I can't remember right now. I will send it to you.
Oh, you have a
okay. And with all due respect too, and with the lady who just called, she sounds like someone who is a parliamentarian and another nice lady too. But do you find she sounds like Khadijah Allen a little? I think her name is a little bit. But as I said, I don't mean to be, rude or anything. But she really sounds like her sometimes. That's just my opinion. Who is also another beautiful lady too. Anyway, thanks guys. Take care.
Thanks very much, Rockaway.
It does confuse me sometimes in some things.
And Junior song was the People's Choice on Sunday. Yeah. Yeah, only the Junior on Sunday, here's some classic tracks, something, and you request your song and stuff.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, and the people who request the songs are the ones who vote on the songs also. Yeah, to come up with that.
You
Nice.
said you have your poll ready?
Yeah, and I did the same one that you said.
I mean, the poll for the breakfast show, eh?
Well, that's what I meant. The CJ thing. Yeah, the CJ. We're not bad talking the CJ. We're just asking a poll. You know, people sensitive.
No, who bad talking the CJ? I can't bad talk the CJ.
No, and that's what I just clarify. You know, some people read the poll as if we have some
agenda.
So if we poll the issue of Jack Dosing, is he suitable for the Speaker of the House? Based on his we can poll that too.
All right. Hold on 1 minute there, Wendell.
I don't understand your aggression in terms of what you just said. But I will let it pass because you know why? It's Thursday and I ain't taking on that.
Guys, we have the caller, please. Nice. Caller, go ahead. Caller, listen to the stream, you know.
Hi, morning guys. How are you?
Yes, go ahead, Carol.
I'm going to make a suggestion. Guys, no, I'm not listening to the stream. I'm listening to you.
Go ahead.
Yeah. These people who keep calling in and saying that that Mr. Jack is still over there to them. Yes, somebody to explain the Privy Council judgment so that they would understand exactly what was said by the Privy Council. Somebody who is unbiased who would explain it to them and they would understand what was said by the Privy Council. That is a humble suggestion.
That's concerning what matter?
I think that is the same matter with the
Speaker. The Jack Dosing matter.
The Jack Dosing matter she was talking about. Yeah, she said that
because both matters the Privy Council pronounced on it, not so? In both cases, right?
In both cases, yeah.
But we're not dealing with Jack Dosing today. I far walk away and child of God, we're not dealing with Jack Dosing today. And that agent provocateur who called in earlier on. We're dealing with the CJ, right? Good. We're dealing with the issue of Marcia Air Caesar's case that is in the papers again today. Because if it wasn't in the papers today, we probably wouldn't be dealing with it. But in the papers today, we're going to deal with it, right?
Okay.
So the issue of Marcia Air Caesar, which is the subject of our poll this morning, of course, the Privy Council ruled that her 2017 resignation was unlawfully forced by the Judicial and Legal Services Commission led by Chief Justice Ivor Archie. The Apex Court held that her removal was unfair and violated constitutional procedures for the removal of a judge. The ruling said the commission put pressure on Air Caesar by threatening disciplinary action instead of following the proper constitutional process under Section 137. The judiciary on June 4th, which was yesterday, confirmed her return. That's why it's a story in the papers today. And the Honorable Madam Justice Aya Caesar resumed effective May 5th, 2025, and is currently assigned to the Civil High Court. The Privy Council said she had been pressured to resign over a backlog of cases, that she left as Chief Magistrate, and agreed with a 2023 ruling by the Court of Appeal, which said the JLSC acted outside its powers. So that's just some of the. I mean, if you were following the story, it was there, and there have been some calls. I know from some. I think the Criminal Bar Association under Israel Khan Senior Counsel had called for the Chief Justice to resign.
Well, they called for the triggering of Section 137 by the Prime Minister. That's what they called.
Okay, was that what it? But
yeah,
so
they didn't
for his removal. Yeah, but it has been a subject. A lot of people, you know, have not said it, but we are polling it this morning because the ISC's thing has cropped up again.
Yeah.
So this is our poll this morning. Do you think the Chief Justice should resign as a result of the Privy Council ruling in the ISC's matter?
Yes or no? That's
so that's our poll this morning. Yes or no? Start voting now.
We have less than a minute, folks. Let's go. All right.
Do you think the Chief Justice should resign as a result of the Privy Council ruling in the ISC's matter? That's our poll this morning. You can vote yay or nay, whichever you think. You're just asking your
Zena had already voted. Zena's a no one time.
Zena said no. She voted early.
Yeah. Michael Oliver, yes. child of God. I cringe calling you child of God, you know. Ramnarish, I'll call you Ramnarish. Ramnarish says yes.
Who are you to determine somebody's not a child of God? I don't understand that.
His name is, he say Indomitable Ramnarish, so we go use Ramnarish. DL says yes, Cheryl Henry, no, Ian Robley, no, Ambrose Bland, no, Terence Roach, yes, Beauty Culture, yes, Marlon Motley, no, Benson Stanton, yes, Lori, no, Boy Bidesi, yes, Carol Guevara, no. Right? Did I miss any? No, I didn't miss any. And of course, we had Zena, right? You have any, Sir Charles?
They're now coming in here, and that's coming kind of slow on the WhatsApp. But I will save it for when we come back after the news and give you all what comes in. People, remember, you can vote throughout the newscast. So by the time we come back, we'll have all your votes because we close off after that, right?
So we'll start from Siobhan Shogun when we come back, right? So keep voting, right?
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is your news update for Thursday, June 5th, 2025. I am Amanda Mitchell with New Era TT Radio and M&E TV. Justice Marcia Ayers-Caesar has quietly resumed duties as a High Court judge nearly 8 years after what the Privy Council ruled was her unlawful removal from office in 2017. Sources within the judiciary confirmed that Justice Ayers-Caesar returned to office about a month ago, though she is not currently handling matters in open court and is working more in the background, dealing with cases in chambers. In March, the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council delivered a landmark ruling declaring that her resignation letter submitted in April 2017 was null and void. The letter was not written by her, but was prepared by a judicial officer under instructions from then Chief Justice Ivor Archie. The Privy Council found that she was forced and threatened into signing it. The state is now expected to compensate her for 8 years of unpaid salary, allowances, and benefits, along with damages for breaches of her constitutional rights. The Tobago Regional Health Authority has officially launched an investigation into its controversial ambulance procurement process, as public outrage grows over what Minority Leader Kelvin Morris is calling Ambulance Gate. The investigation follows troubling reports that some newly acquired ambulances stalled while transporting patients to Roxborough Hospital. Originally priced at $5.5 million for 12 ambulances, the final cost has ballooned to over $17 million. The ambulances, delivered 15 months after the July 2023 contract award, were not fit for purpose and required modifications costing an additional $244,000 each. Morris has labelled the situation the greatest procurement betrayal of the Tobago people and called for the immediate resignation of THA Health Secretary Dr. Faith Brebnor. He has written to the Anti-Corruption Investigations Bureau requesting a full criminal investigation. The Ministry of Transport and Civil Aviation has officially recalled all priority bus route letter permits numbered 0001 to 0645, with the permits becoming invalid as of July 1st, 2025. The recall follows Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar's recent criticism of the previous system, saying PBR passes were handed out like cookies and hops bread, calling them gifts without substance. She revealed that many of the recalled permits were letter passes issued for private vehicles at the discretion of the former Minister of Works and Transport. The Route 2 Maxi Taxi Association has backed the recall, with President Brenton Knight welcoming the removal of unauthorized vehicles from the PBR. Anyone wishing to reapply must submit new applications with supporting documents, including driver's license, certified copy of the vehicle, and proof of insurance. You are listening to news on New Era TT Radio. In regional news, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro is claiming that an armed group of men attempting to enter the country from Trinidad and Tobago has been intercepted. According to a report by Prensa Latina, Cuba's official news agency, President Maduro made the announcement during the swearing-in ceremony of the new governor of Sucre State. The men, described as being armed with weapons of war, allegedly tried to breach the Venezuelan border via Trinidad and Tobago. Maduro stated that half of those captured are of Colombian origin and were transported across the Caribbean Sea. He called on Venezuelans to remain vigilant, urging for 1,000 eyes and 1,000 ears to protect the nation. The president's comments come just days before Venezuela's upcoming elections. Authorities in both Trinidad and Tobago and Venezuela have not yet released official details on the alleged incident. In international news, tensions are rising after a major Ukrainian drone strike on Russian air bases. Russian President Vladimir Putin has warned of a response, calling Ukraine's government a terrorist organization during a phone call with former US President Donald Trump. Trump, who shared details of the hour-long call, said Putin was very strong about reacting, but admitted the call wouldn't lead to immediate peace. He also confirmed the U.S. had no prior knowledge of the June 1st drone attack. The strike reportedly targeted Russian bombers, further straining fragile peace talks. Ukraine's President Zelensky dismissed ongoing diplomacy, saying no talks have brought lasting peace, and warned the world not to ignore Putin's threats. Meanwhile, Ukrainian officials are in Washington seeking more arms and sanctions against Russia. That concludes your news update for today. I'm Amanda Mitchell for New Era TT Radio and M&E TV. The Breakfast Show with Wendell, Richard, and Sir Charles continues right after this short break.
That was news now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Better. Join Sir Charles for the mid-morning mix and mingle, where good music, real talk, health, and family matters come together, and your voice is heard. Whether you're at work, on the go, or just taking a break, this is the perfect mix to keep you engaged, informed, and entertained. The mid-morning mix and mingle, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 noon on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
This summer, give your child skills of a lifetime with several boot camp. Children between the ages of 5 to 17, come enjoy Children Iron Chef Competition. Your child will learn to prepare healthy breakfast, lunch, dinner, CPR, first aid, and conflict management. With field trip, your child will be given free apron and certification upon completion. Call 492-7397 or 336-4935. Institute of Health and Fitness Company Limited, located at number 79 St. Vincent Street, Tunapuna.
Mornings just got better. You're locked into Net Radio Breakfast Show, fueling your day with the best music and real talk.
It's bam bam your life. Bitsy bitsy. Bam bam your need. Bam bam. It's bam bam your life. Bam bam. Every time it pass, boy, you're watching it. Every time it pass, boy, you're watching it. It's bam bam your life. Watch it. It's bam bam your need. Watch it. It's bam bam in front, behind. Want to take a wine, how your weekend on your knees. It's bam bam your life. Watch it. It's bam bam your need. Watch it. It's bam bam in front, behind. Want to take a wine, how your weekend on your knees. Sweet woman is the remedy and the healing for the soul. The gal and them is trouble when they coming out on the road. It don't matter the shape or size, every woman looking so good. It's gal on gal and they whining and the behavior looking so good. Baby, you like it? Yeah. You want it? Yeah. You need it? Yeah. Come get it. Baby, you like it? Yeah. You want it? Yeah. You need it? Yeah. Come get it. Every time it pass, boy, you're watching 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 it. It's bam bam your life.
Morning vibes, fresh energy. This is the Net Radio Breakfast Show.
It's bam bam your life. Bitsy bitsy. It's bam bam your need.
right, everybody, and of course, welcome back to the breakfast show. We just crossed inside hour number 2. Hope that you got all the information that you wanted inside of our newscast.
It's Bam Bam Your Life. Watch it.
And of course, as we enter into this second session here, let's see what the weather will be like today in Trinidad and Tobago.
Good morning again, Trinidad and Tobago. This is your weather update for Thursday, the 5th of June, 2025, from New Era TT Radio and M&E TV. Today's weather will show a distinct progression as the day unfolds. Initially, expect fair but slightly hazy and breezy conditions, becoming partly cloudy with a few light or moderate showers as the day progresses. There's a 30% chance of these showers becoming heavy and thundery at times. Please be aware that gusty winds and street flooding can occur in the event of heavy downpours. We continue to monitor air quality conditions. A mild to moderate concentration of Saharan dust is present in the atmosphere. Sensitive persons should take necessary precautions to protect their respiratory health. For our neighbors in the remainder of the Lesser Antilles, expect mostly fair but slightly hazy and breezy conditions, despite a few brief isolated showers. Temperature-wise, Trinidad can expect a maximum of 32 degrees Celsius today, with a minimum of 24 degrees Celsius. In Tobago, the maximum will reach 31 degrees Celsius, with a minimum of 26 degrees Celsius. With humidity factored in, the heat index will make it feel like 36 degrees Celsius in Trinidad and 35 degrees Celsius in Tobago, so please stay hydrated throughout this warm day. Sea conditions are moderate with wave heights of 1.5 to 2 meters in open waters and near 1 meter in sheltered areas. The sun rose this morning at 5:46 and will set at 6:18 this evening. For those planning maritime activities today, high tide in Port of Spain will occur at 12:21 this afternoon, with low tides at 5:59 this morning and 6:03 this evening. In Scarborough, high tide will be at 12:32 this afternoon, with low tides at 6:15 this morning and 6:12 this evening. This has been your weather update for today. Start your day early to enjoy the fair conditions and be prepared for possible showers and thunderstorms as the day progresses. Remember to take precautions during any heavy downpours. From all of us at New Era TT Radio and M&E TV, have a safe Thursday.
The only question I have for you is how you find your play going so far?
I was gobsmacked, to say the least. Very glad I came to see it and can't wait for the next stop. I am thoroughly enjoying it.
I think the play is fantastic, and I actually told my husband tonight that I think this is one of the most hilarious and phenomenal ones yet. Love that. So I was dying of laughter, and the plot is creative and fun, so I just think it's awesome.
So how you find your play going so far?
Oh, I'm loving it.
It was a wonderful performance, and it's so realistic. Just made us laugh a lot, but it is true to life.
How was the show tonight?
Oh, it was fantastic. We got fabulous actors.
Yes, we do.
It was a fabulous night. My husband laughed very loud. It was exciting.
It was excellent. I must say it was a refreshing look at real life aspect of a marriage. I find it was excellently portrayed, I must say.
It was really exciting. I laughed a lot. And the story was really, really good. The principles, that they talk about and share with us, it was really good to see they put that in humor, with humor.
San Fernando, we're here. The wait is over. The indisputable #1 comedy of 2025, Married and Mischievous, is in San Fernando for one night only at Sapa, Sunday, June 8th at 6:30 p.m. One show only. Tickets available at K Squared Fashion, C3 Center in Brentwood Mall, Fens by the Roundabout in Marabella, and at the Sapa box office, 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily from Monday, 2nd of June. Married and Mischievous, one night only at Sapa, Sunday, June 8th. Strictly adults only. Don't miss it. S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Great news, Caribbean. The Breakfast Show is now on M&E TV, bringing you entertaining conversations, vital information, and influential perspectives throughout Trinidad and Tobago and across the Caribbean region. Catch us on Digicel Channel 20, Flow Channel 111, Amplia Channel 117, Blink Channel 109, Tricode Channel 154, and Airlink Channel 10. The Breakfast Show connects with the Caribbean and Trinidad and Tobago like never before. We're now on M&E TV.
Of course, we are back and we're just finishing up the poll at this point in terms of our poll results. So I don't know if Wendell and Sir Charles and can just give me, let me just bring back up the poll because we had the poll people who have been voting on the poll during the news break. Do you think that the Chief Justice should resign as a result of the Privy Council ruling in the ISC's matter? That's our poll this morning. What says you? Let's get those votes.
All right, we have quite a few votes during the news break, and we are gobsmacked at your response to our poll. That's my new favorite word there. By the way, Richard, what's the opposite of sour, sour, high, high?
Sour, sour, high, high.
High, high.
Sweet, sweet,
low, sour, sour, high, high.
So Charles already said it.
Nice one, Wendell. Nice one.
Richard is still looking gobsmacked.
That's a very good one, Wendell.
You have a real poker face, you know. Let me give you the votes. Siobhan Shogun said no. Somebody tell me that, you know.
And there is high and there is low.
And then you are the exact opposite of sour, sour, high, high. Joyce Phillips said no.
There's high and there's low.
Justin Richardson says no. Larry Charles says no. Are you getting these votes, Richard?
Yes, because I'm doing my job.
Ron DeSantis abstain. Lyndon says no.
Wait. Ron DeSantis said, wait. Ron DeSantis said what?
He has abstained.
Okay.
Lyndon says no. Susan Jessup says no. Carlisle Cupid says no. Michael Robinson, no. Lyndon Williams, yes. Trini Gets Fit, no. Where are we? Carlisle Cupid, okay, Carlisle Cupid. Slick Money Grip says no. Alistair Hart says yes. Maureen Dilchan Maharaj says yes. Who else? Finbar Collins says no. Morning, Finbar. Jason Samuel says yes. Keith Clark says no. That's it.
Charles, you have any?
Of course, yes, man.
Okay, can I get it, please?
Of course, yeah. I'm going to give it to you now. So Frank says no. Godchild, I don't know if it's the same one you have, says yes.
So
I feel like he says no. Pauline says yes. Sexy Red says yes. Sean Ram says yes. And Anand says yes. That's it, Richard.
I'm seeing a message in the chat here. Dolly Mullet, if you could direct me to where somebody used that word, I most definitely will.
So our poll this morning was, do you think the Chief Justice should resign as a result of the Privy Council ruling in the ISC's matter? We had 36 people voting in the allotted time. Of the 36 people voting, 21 of you said no, you do not think that he should resign. 15 of you said yes. So it was at one point it was kind of running side by side, but the nays eventually pulled ahead. So 21 of you said no, and 15 of you said yes. So the nays have it this morning in terms of our microcosmic view in terms of our program of the poll on a national level. Do you think the Chief Justice should resign? The majority of our listeners and viewers said no. So that's our poll for this morning. And of course, I know our guest is standing by. So we're moving into our Let's Talk segment. And of course, our very interesting interview with Tim Teemul. I have to apologize to him because I thought it was Teemul. and it's Teemul, and he
Teemul,
corrected me politely, with a little attitude via WhatsApp. I'm like, what's the name? He just, but I spelled it wrong. So and Brenda didn't correct me. But so anyway, let's get into our let's talk.
You see me?
I'm going into the let's talk segment.
Yeah.
So good morning, Mr. Tim Teemul.
First of all, let me say there was no attitude at all. Wendell would know that I'm the coolest guy out there. I
was joking.
Don't you remember, Timothy? We interviewed him in the breakfast show.
Yeah, we did.
He came in studio. That might have been about 10 years ago, Timothy.
No, boy, Wendell, like 16 years ago.
Oh, jeez.
2009, 2010.
Yes, I remember that. I
remember it.
Yeah, Richard is a little older now, a lot older now. So
Richard and I went since he was in Form 6 or Form 5 when I was in Form 1.
Ah, so you used to clout you up?
Well, no.
I don't do that.
I hear a lot of bullying went on in that school, you know.
I don't do that sort of thing, Wendell. Come on. Tim, thank you so much for joining us. And of course, we're talking. I mentioned to the audience already that we were talking AI filmmaking, and the use of AI. And I was mentioning to Wendell that I was watching an interview with Anderson Cooper, and he was interviewing this guy, one of the guys from Anthropic. Is that how you say that word? Anthropic. Which is Claude, which a lot of people prefer to ChatGPT. I personally prefer to ChatGPT. But anyway, and he was talking about college entry jobs are going to be replaced by AI within the next 5 years or less. And
you know what I want to find out first, Timothy, and even Richard, because I've never asked this question before, strange enough. How did they come up with the term AI?
Artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence?
Yeah. It's basically yeah.
Okay.
All right. So first of all, good morning to the guys, Wendell, Richard, to Charles, to the public. I love where you're starting off, Richard, because it is going to be disruptive. It is going to be disruptive, not just in filmmaking, not in the creative sector, but in lots of areas, in accounting and sales. Agentic AI is going to literally replace or enhance many jobs. Now, the prediction is that probably about 100 million jobs will be lost across the world, but 125 or 130 million will be produced. So, as I've had many discussions with the creative sector, people in the creative sector, and I say to them all the time, it is no use standing up on a beach quarreling about who was responsible for or what is the outcome of a Cat 5 hurricane coming to us. You have to prepare, you have to retool, and you have to embrace it. It's not going to stop. Nothing you do is going to stop. It's here right now. AI filmmaking is here as one of those things, but we're talking about in books and music. I was creating music since last year, right? So it's all encompassing. It's insidious. It is going to cause massive amounts of disruption.
Yeah, I think a lot of people. I think a lot of people are not even aware of how disruptive it's going to be yet. In terms of jobs, and I mean, it could get even to the point of lawyers and stuff like that. So how pervasive it's going to get and where it's going to go, will eventually play out right in front of our eyes, so to speak. But I know we are talking AI filmmaking, and as we segue into that conversation, I think it's a good opportunity to play a part of one of your films that was done completely with AI. Am I right? It was completely done with AI.
Completely. It's actually showed on METV, and it will show this weekend on TTT.
All right, so let's watch a little bit of the eulogy.
I'm the person who deceased Enid hired to deliver her eulogy.
But his once at a boo-hoo-hoo in the people church. He used to call me Blackie Pokey because I was the darkest of the children. Damn right I was a faith, especially amongst the boys. I was 14 and he was in his late 30s. But poisoning from the clothes hanger, that monster used to scrape my womb. That man dragged me by my hair and beat me black and blue. I should have protected you from him. That man take me to heights I never knew existed. What all the young girl know about that? So I had to put real man in their place.
Enid was mentor, surrogate mother, and eventually boss lady.
It wasn't easy opening up a food place with 7 children. Real susu from the motherland.
It's time to get going, Enid.
And she's just a prayer away.
Wow. So, I mean, that's pretty interesting, Tim, because not only is it visually interesting, and I know this is just snippets and edits for a short clip for the program, but also the Trini accents and also you're getting the story. You're getting the storyline of where it's going. In terms of how it's edited.
So I'm a screenwriter by profession, right? Wendell would know about that. So I'm a storyteller. I do narrative storytelling. I am a consultant when it comes to narrative storytelling. I'm a communication consultant, and among some other things. But what AI is allowing us to do is literally sit down on a computer and create everything. So all the voices are mine. The background music I created via AI. Every visual you see there, every single sound effect, anything you see, anything was done exclusively with AI. Now, the reason I want to make mention and pay particular attention to that is that we want to have a situation in Trinidad and Tobago where people are allowed to create visual products, stories, without the need for all this money and drama and all the other kind of things that usually cost a lot. As you know, you put on productions, you know exactly how expensive it is.
Yep.
Now, the particular piece that I did is something called Eulogy. It is something I wrote 6 or 7 years ago. It's still in the queue. But what it does is it, particularly for people in the play industry, this is something that is perfect for you guys, because it gives that same kind of quality, but without necessarily, incurring massive amounts of cost. Because I could tell you, this film, which is a 50-minute film, took maybe about 4 or 5 days to do, whilst I'm doing a million other things at the same time. And it cost maybe, a couple thousand TT dollars kind of thing. 5 years ago, something like this would have cost minimum $50,000. So what we've been able to do is lower the cost, increase the and lower the time. And of course, from a business perspective, if it was a show on a platform, get minimal amount of advertising, there's the opportunity to make money on film. For the first time in Trinidad and Tobago, for somebody to make money, besides Roger Alexis' Santana, right? That was probably the only other film that made money in Trinidad and Tobago. So I am excited about what this means, not just for me personally, but for the wider community, because one of the things, and when Elwo and I would have spoken about this over the years, is that it provides opportunities for people, and for young people, older people. There's some little boy living in Bethel, some little girl in Charlottesville, some little mother in Matlock, somebody living in Laventille, who could now tell their stories. I mean,
well, it democratizes it. It democratizes filmmaking, but absolutely, there's a trade-off. And for filmmakers who are watching, while it might give a certain amount of artistic freedom and the democratization of filmmaking, it also, in a sense, threatens traditional filmmaking jobs, because you have the people who are doing makeup, you have the people who are doing set decorating, the people who are doing set construction. You have a million, filmmaking jobs behind the scenes. all of those jobs are now going to be affected in terms of AI filmmaking. How do you rationalize that within the concept, or you just don't pay attention to that fact that that's just a
It's
trend?
not a matter of not paying attention. It's a matter of understanding reality. When Henry Ford and those guys brought in the telepresent vehicle cars, blacksmiths literally went out of the job. The ones that stayed in the job was the ones who understood, well, listen, this is an industry that is dying, and I need to kind of retool and move on. Which is why I mentioned the figures, Wendell. 100 million jobs or so might be lost over the next couple of years, but they estimated 125 million would be created. Those jobs will be, in all kind of different fields. And to the specific point of the creative industry, it now allows, and when you talk about the democratization, it now allows the hairdresser, the makeup person, the gaffer, the sound guy, to who had a little story in their head, who was around the industry, who might have been doing that to kind of like a PA to the point of producing their own products. It might allow them to now have the opportunity to create their products, which is why I said there may be somebody in Bethel or Canaan or Charlottesville or who might be the greatest storytellers that this world has ever seen. Forget Trinidad and Tobago, that the world has ever seen, better than Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, James Cameron, M. Night Shyamalan. We don't know, but what we do know is if we allow people to share in the experience, we may find the diamond in the rough.
So let me ask this question, Timothy. How do you come up with the images? Is it that the program, I've never delved into it,
right?
Even though I'm fascinated by what I see, but it sometimes it's very obvious that it's AI.
Yeah.
But how do you come up with these images? Is it there are several options? Like when you go on those games children play, you could put the hair on somebody, you could put the complexion on it. Is that the same thing that happens?
A similar process. So it's basically, it's called text to video. So I use ChatGPT. It have Midjourney. It have a whole bunch of text to image. So you create an image. I say, well, I want to create a guy who is bald and about 50 something, Indo-Trinidadian mix or whatever it is, and it creates. It gives you about 4 options. You pick one, and then you can extrapolate on that. You can use that image now to create video. Again, text to video. Now you give it a prompt and say, man starts to clap, or he walks, or he looks distressed, or whatever it is. I sent some pictures that I took from Richard's Facebook feed, and I did some stuff with that, right? So you could get an idea. And then, of course, it's the mind of the filmmaker to basically construct a narrative that says, oh, this is the story I'm trying to tell. So it's the same process that you would do as a filmmaker, except that you're having tools now that gives you an opportunity to do things quicker, more efficiently, and of course, with much lower cost.
How we know we're actually talking to Timothy right now and not an AI creation?
Right, that's a very, very good question. In about a year's time, you are going to struggle to know if it's real Tim or not real Tim, right?
Avatar Tim.
So, and it's going really, really fast. Now remember, the ChatGPT as an entity came to be in November of 2022. We have not reached 3 years yet, and we've gone from an LLM, a learning language model, which is ChatGPT and like Anthropic, Claude, and so forth, to text to video, text to image, text to video. The quality of text to video when it first started was amazingly bad, right? It was like, oh my God, how
it was
way
off. It was way
9 fingers and all kind of eye turn up and that kind of stuff. It is getting better and better. So like I teach classes now, teaching people how to do AI filmmaking, and every time I tell them, I say, what you are seeing here today is the worst the expression of the AI is going to be. It's getting better every day. I was in a class on a Thursday. I go classes in Point Fortin, teach classes in Point Fortin as a pilot project for the clip program I sent you guys. And I remember on that very Thursday, Google dropped VO2, which was so advanced to what I was using. I was using Kling that it almost made it like it was, it was like it was driving a B13 in a Benz. It was so different. And just 12 hours ago, ChatGPT dropped something again, and it's just constant improvement to the point where I guarantee you guys, in a year's time, everything that you see, film-wise, education-wise, even advertisements, they're going to have minimum 50% AI involved in it.
You know what I wanted to ask you, especially from a creative perspective. But I mean, okay, I suppose live theater is less affected because it's humans until they're making robots. But in terms of film and AI filmmaking and human filmmaking, I'm just calling it that.
Yeah.
To differentiate. You'll have human actors, you have AI actors. Do you expect that there is going to be pushback from consumers that they may say, okay, if it's an AI film, it needs to be marketed that this is AI, and if it's a human film, it needs to be marketed as a human film. And there may be some pushback by humans saying, okay, we prefer to see the human film rather than the AI film. Absolutely. Do you think that kind of pushback is going to happen?
Yeah, absolutely. You're seeing it already. You're seeing, I think Netflix already have films that are AI films that they brand as AI films. It is going to happen. But the differences between AI and quote unquote real film are going to be so indistinguishable in about a year or two time, right? That you may, it just be consumers consuming content. Now, but the thing about it is, I do not anticipate that every job from the creative sector is going to be lost, because in the same way that I was the one who was quote unquote acting, doing the voices for Tulsi as well as Eulogy, I could have hired actors who are much better than me to deliver those voices and so forth. And we are getting through like Hadrian and a couple of other new AIs, what you call expression. So if I did a AI prompt and I was shouting, but the video, the image that I used was just a plain image, you would hear the shouting, but you would not see the emotion. It is now fixing that. So as I said, we are at a stage in the process where actors, directors, directors of photography, they're still going to have jobs. And like anything else in life, Richard and Wendell, the people that are better at stuff will always stand out. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that anybody needs to necessarily over worry about stuff, but you have to adapt. You have to adjust. You can't stop this. It's here.
So well, it is here, and I mean, it is here, and I mean, I know a lot of industries are starting to utilize AI in different, because you have AI chatbots that people use in businesses and stuff. You have some AIs that can double up as CSRs, and you will not even know that you're speaking to AI. It sounds like a real human being on the other side. So you have all of that already.
Everybody, PBX now is some kind of voice, some kind of.
Some of it is recorded, but you have some that can actually be interfacing with you, and it sounds like a human. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you have AI, you have conversational AI. I mean, Copilot is one that you can have actual conversations, but Gemini is one that Google would have released that you can have a certain amount of conversations with. So if you download the Copilot app, Wendell, which is from Microsoft, mm-hmm. and you turn on Copilot in your car, you can talk with Copilot for your entire journey. Yeah. And it's conversational. It's giving you feedback and opinions. You could talk about the show and say, what do you think about this? And this person said so and so about this comment. What do you think about that? And because I thought they were out of place, and it will talk back with you.
Have a conversation.
Have a conversation with you.
I'll give you a story. A year ago, I was in the grocery, and I used ChatGPT. I get all the quote unquote early access and that kind of stuff. And I'm speaking to my ChatGPT on my phone, and it's speaking in a trainee accent, and we are having a conversation about what to buy, and I just having a conversation. As far as I'm concerned, is something I do all the time. And a girl who's one, I think she was working there, she's looking at me in absolute amazement. She said, "You're talking to your computer?" And it didn't dawn on me that yes, I am, because it felt so real. Another time I was in the office and
I don't know if you know that kind of madness, you know.
No, it's Wendell, it's even crazy. I'm in the office and I sigh. I had it on accidentally and I sigh. I was like, oh God. And she was like, "Tim, are you okay? Is there anything I can do?" And the girls in the office just spin around and they was like, "What the hell? This thing is treating me like a wife or a girlfriend or whatever it is."
Tim, I was talking to my fishes and my turtles the other day, and Richard ridiculed me, you know. And only talking to something that do exist. At least I talking to something that's swimming around.
It
does exist. But it does exist.
I have trained my GPT to the point where it knows my nephew's names, my niece's names. They know every single a lot of thing about me. So when it says something, it's saying it from a position of a lot of knowledge about me. It's amazing.
Can it create as a caller, as a messenger put there just now, the biggest oxymoron I've ever seen? The perfect wife. Can it create that? The perfect wife.
Can you create the perfect wife?
Well,
yeah, wife.
So the I'm not just interested in AI film. I'm interested in AI as a whole. So the next logical step. So we had learning language models. That's like Claude and ChatGPT and all those. And a lot of people think AI is that. But the next step, which is already here, is AI in robot. Sorry, it's agentic AI. That is taking AI and having it perform tasks. So there's a difference between a workflow and an AI agent. A workflow is answer my emails and so on. So AI agent is to answer my emails like me. Go and access information about the client, gather the information and set appointments. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. When you take an AI agent, which is really connected to a brain, and you put that into a robot, now you have I don't want to say a sentient being, but you have something that can perform tasks in the physical realm. You're talking about security, you're talking about mowing your lawn and cleaning your house, making your breakfast. That kind of quote-unquote wife-like experience might be real.
But you just got me totally interested in AI now. I wasn't interested. You now got me interested in AI.
And of course,
no, I don't know how far off you think self-aware AI is, because I think that's the holy grail.
Yeah.
That when AI becomes self-aware, and I know there are many scientists that think that it is possible and it will eventually happen, that you have sentient AI, and of course it's an unknown of how sentient AI is going to deal with humans.
So let me give you all an example, right? We talked about the judiciary just now there. I wouldn't share my opinion. I'm out of politics, guys. I wouldn't share my opinion on that kind of stuff, right? But right now, in the American Bar Association, we have LLMs like ChatGPT and Claude performing in the top 10% of people in the bar exam and on medical exams. What we are having is AI already performing like some of the best human beings on the planet, right? But soon, the prediction is a year, I would say, let me say before 2030, we are going to have that where AI is quote unquote smarter than the average, not the average, than all human beings. Which in a sense is if they have some the Turing test that they want to apply to when it is quote unquote sentient. But the reality is that probably within the next 4 to 5 years, we're going to have some level of sentience or some level of advanced AI that is so advanced that it will be able to perform tasks at a higher level. So you're talking about, if a movie 5, you're talking about like Jarvis, as in Avengers, or you're talking about like the computer in Star Trek that they could just ask questions and it would just, do amazing stuff.
All right.
That's
Can
more reality.
Mr. Teemul, good morning to you, Sir Charles. I've been listening to you, and I agree with you because I'm looking at the way the technology is running, and I myself I use some of it even in setting up our platform here. You would believe how much of that I've used and saved a lot of money in the process and people. But you spoke about 1.25 jobs, or how many jobs being lost. And how many jobs will be created. What I'm wondering is what kind of jobs exactly are you referring to specifically? And also, where will these new jobs be concentrated? Are we talking about mostly in the tech hub, or will smaller markets benefit from this change also?
Well, so the prediction is that there are going to be a lot of jobs in tech, obviously. But tech is a very, very broad term, obviously. What that means is that, so like for instance, as an AI filmmaker, I will be employed and have the capacity to produce not just one film, but maybe hundreds of films because of AI. So that will be my kind of employment. So to answer your question from the topic we're dealing with here, the democratization of storytelling and filmmaking will see a lot more people employed in the creative sector, as an example. But we are talking about you still need some level of management and what we call prompting to deal with AI. So whether you're in sales, whether you're in marketing, whether you're in accounting, office work, or whatever it is, you're going to have somebody. You have to have somebody behind the machine. Now, of course, this would mean that lots of people would still be out of a job in that particular area. But again, it increases the opportunity for people to have jobs in other areas. But the key factor is getting on board early, which is why I am teaching people how to use AI film as opposed to be afraid of it. Because if we wait a year, we are going to be so behind the curve, right? That we're going to almost be lost. But for small markets, let me finish. For small markets like us, this presents an opportunity for all Trinbagonians to jump literally about 20 years ahead. Embrace it and literally participate in the global economy at a level that is equal, because that democratization, not just in film, but in AI processing, AI jobs and so forth, is going to have us at a level where we are competing on that international level for foreign exchange. So it's just, it's a win-win-win situation.
Well, and while it may seem that way, because I mean, like a lot of the persons who have traditional jobs and who are there, older persons, it may feel, and some of them may not be able to really step up to what is really coming forward, and so it may be important especially for younger people going forward. But with the new jobs that are going to be created, are we talking about people able to access similar pay, security, and even the creative fulfillment of one being displaced? Is it going to be anything close to that, or it's going to be totally different?
Right. So again, I would say that there will be some level of stratification. It always happens in every industry, right? You have many people on talk radio, but you guys, at the top of the barrel, right? That always happens. So you're gonna have that. But what it does is it democratizes the opportunity. And as I said, right now, most of the filmmakers in Trinidad and Tobago compete with other filmmakers in Trinidad and Tobago. In other words, our market is 1.4 million. You try to get a product in IMAX or Derek Chen or Cinemas Eat or whatever it is, right? Very, very limited market. Imagine that market going from 1.4 million to 1.4 billion. and the opportunities it creates, not just for Tim Teemul, but for Richard Ragobarison, for Wendell Stephen, for, as I said, the little guy in Bethel. So this has the ability to create a lot of opportunities. Now, will everybody be able to take those opportunities? Absolutely not. But the history of the world has always been like that. Not everybody could be doctors, not everybody could be lawyers, not everybody could be scientists. We will always have this stratification. Now, do we have enough jobs and enough ability to take care of those who may not be as agile and adapting? That is a governance question, but it's something that I believe could also be aided by AI. Because if you have a system where your people are bringing in excessive amounts of foreign exchange, then back to the old question of who do you tax and how do you how the system works. If you bring in $1 billion in foreign exchange through film and other creative products, $1 billion US you're talking about here, there's opportunity for it to either trickle down to the economy or for the government to tax and say, well, you know what, we will increase pension, we'll increase people who are out of work, and we'll give them a living wage and so forth. So yes, there will be disruptions. Yes, there will be a lot of things happening, but that is a governance question. As far as the tech is concerned, we have no choice. We have to either embrace it or get left behind.
Yeah,
that is the two choices.
Yeah, just like any other technology that came up over the years, it's here. The only thing that failed so far that came up big, well, I don't know if it failed there, but I haven't seen the evidence that it is Bitcoin or whatever they call that craziness that they had there. I haven't heard anything about it again for a while.
Like blockchain technology, that is another question. I myself have shied away from Bitcoin for the very same reason that you articulated there. But that again is a model that works in some spheres and doesn't work in others, like any other thing, right? Yeah. But I think we shouldn't confuse advancements in technology into necessarily what artificial intelligence presents. That's basically two separate models.
Yeah. Are you willing to take a couple calls, Timothy?
Absolutely.
All right. Well,
what does that have to do with politics?
Huh?
Once it doesn't have anything to do with politics.
No. We know how that went. 281-1315. We talking AI, and I saw a lot of y'all who listening, and certainly the chat has been very busy about it. This morning. Concerning AI, we have Tim Teemul. He's an AI filmmaker. Call in if you have any questions that we didn't ask. You understand? Because Richard is the real AI man, yeah? Richard and Sir Charles, I should say. I haven't embraced it fully yet, but I'm in it. Look at,
It's all around you. It's all around you.
I'm taking some calls, 281-1315, 281-1315. We're taking some of your calls. Of course, we're talking AI. We're talking AI filmmaking. We're talking about AI effects on jobs across the planet. So it's an AI conversation this morning. So you can weigh in and ask your questions.
Richard,
we have a caller there. Let's take the caller. Caller, morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, caller.
Yeah, this is a very interesting conversation for me because as a 49-year-old, I think I saw the vision in AI and started doing things with AI in terms of there are a lot of free courses going on, and I believe that people should get involved in these classes and stuff. I just want to thank the former government, not taking it politics, but our Prime Minister was instrumental in seeing the vision of where AI is heading. I had a Ministry of Digital Technology started. I don't know if this new government will continue, but I think
they have a Ministry of Public Admin and AI.
Yes, we do, but I'm not sure if they will continue with the same policies as the former government in terms of fully digitalized throughout the whole system, because that's what the former government was doing. So I'm really happy with this conversation, and I think that people like myself, older people, could still embrace it, because I'm 49, and I think I see where it's heading. So I started learning a lot of free courses, and then introduction to digital learning and all these things. So thanks for the information, and I hope that other people could see where it's headed and take front before front take you, as so to speak.
Thanks very much, Kola.
And that's clearly a first-time caller to our show. I'm very good with voices.
Yeah, I'm
sure that's
all
a first-time.
about that. Kola, good morning to you.
Hey, Chalo, morning.
Mr. Patrick.
Glendale and Chiragubasing, morning.
Good morning, Mr. Patrick.
And morning, Mr. AI specialist. Morning.
Go ahead, Mr.
You know, I listen to the conversation and I following AI for some years now, because I have a niece who was an engineer and she branched off to AI in Washington. So I was having a conversation and I said, what is really AI? She said, what AI is what AI is, artificial intelligence. And then I was
talking the phone, Mr. Patrick. Patrick, talking the phone.
Yeah, the standard AI was saying that you get to
Mr. Patrick, you're sounding muffled.
The phone.
Come on, lay a pillow and talk.
No, we
You're sounding muffled. You're sounding muffled.
Muffled all of a sudden.
Stop hiding the competition from your wife. Just talk.
I'm not talking to my wife.
Anyhow, go ahead.
No, just tell your wife leave you alone and talk.
Oh,
God.
Yeah, Mr. Patrick. Yeah. So go ahead quickly.
Yeah. So I actually what AI means just what it is, artificial intelligence. It's like how IT and different programs. AI is a program, right? But you say it could do more damage with that program than good. And that was from what I was saying. What you think about that?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
All right. Okay. Before you answer,
not only before you answer, you need to translate, because I think a lot of people didn't catch what he said.
Yeah, I think at the end there he said that he was told AI is a program and it could do more damage than good.
It could do more damage than good. But before you actually answer that, let me just take the other caller and then we'll let you answer all those questions. Caller, good morning to you.
Hi, morning, Mr. Teemul.
Yes.
Morning all. Hi, Mr. Teemul. A very, very, very interesting conversation. I am very, very grateful. It's scary, but exciting times, I think. And also, I want to find out, when I think back to Jurassic Park, is that something AI-oriented, something back then that maybe now has just advanced?
All right.
Okay, thanks very much.
Was Jurassic Park, was AI used to create Jurassic Park?
Right. So CGI has been involved.
That's a little different. Yeah. But go on, sorry.
20-something years or more, right? If you look at Avatar as an example, that was a lot of CGI. So that is almost like the precursor to what we're seeing now. The difference in now is that, as I said, the cost and the speed and the ability to do it from home. So what AI allows is the opportunity to democratize it. So what would have taken, 100 people, computer technicians designing a scene could now be done by one person at home in 5 minutes. The other thing with Jurassic Park is they had animatronics. So a lot of the creatures were actual creatures. They were real. It was like hooked to like a tractor and that kind of stuff, right? So there was a combination. There was another question about, the question about the dangers. And I tell these analogies. You can take a car and drive it into a crowd of people, right? And cause tremendous amount of damage. And then another person could take another car or even that same vehicle and put people into the vehicle and carry them to the hospital and save lives. So it's the use of the tool that determines what is the outcome. So I don't think we should be scared and say, well, listen, because cars can bounce and kill, we should just, ignore them and ignore the fact that we have vehicles or a knife, right? So in the same way, I would say, yes, there are dangers with AI. I mean, I can do deep fakes. I showed Richard yesterday how I can take a picture from him and have him and others do things that they did not do in real life. I can clone your voice, as an example, Richard and Mello. Not so much. It's not very good with West Indian or Caribbean accents as yet, right? But I can clone a person's voice and have them have their avatar say things that they've never said, Wendell. That is the danger of, from a political perspective, or even from interpersonal perspectives. People can now create something with you and some woman and send it to your wife, and it's crazy.
Trouble in the house.
Pardon?
And trouble in the house.
And trouble in the house.
You seem very worried, Sir Charles. You sound very worried.
I have a caller here. Let me take the caller. Caller, good morning.
Yes, good morning. I was just trying to find out, I think it's one of you all asked Tim if he is AI. I don't know if I missed it, but he didn't answer the question. We don't know if he is speaking or if it's AI.
He did answer. He did answer.
I answered. This is me.
I missed it. Probably I missed it. I missed it. Yeah. And also, no matter what they make, to me, they will always have a pen and paper. All kind of computer. I ain't see anybody get rid of a pen and a paper. So you can have all kind of thing, darling. Whatever will be, will be.
Yeah.
All right. That's probably we'll have to communicate. Well, caller, that's how we'll probably have to communicate when AI takes over.
Yeah. Yeah, but very quickly, Tim, I'll say that you and Richard is in this field. What I would like to find out very quickly, where do you believe AI should stop in the creative process? Are there aspects of filmmaking that you believe that AI should never go?
Absolutely not. Why need to stop? No. Okay, as a screenwriter, somebody who is, charges people money to look at their stuff and whatever it is, I now use ChatGPT and other LLMs to create the what you call the sketch of stories, things that people would pay me a bit of money to do before, and I am now showing people how they could take one line and say, okay, in the class in Point 14, I asked them to just give me one sentence about a story that they want, and then we took the LLM and we developed that story into a whole sketch where they themselves was amazed at where it went, and I could have taken it to even further, but so that there's no limit. You will eventually have a system, Sir Charles, where you might have a story. I want to write a story about blah blah blah, and give me 10 creative ideas, and you might guide the process, but it might create the story, create the script, and then produce that script into a final product for you.
Yeah.
There's a future where you're gonna be watching movies that have already gone, and you could put yourself in the movie, or you could change the ending. So what is what is coming is even more amazing than what is already.
Sky's the limit.
All right.
Sky is the limit.
We have to end it there, Timothy. It has been a most enlightening conversation. You've revealed,
you have to do a part two, guys.
Educated us on so many different aspects of what's here already. So thank you so much.
And just the tip of the iceberg, guys. This is just the tip of the iceberg, because I could have spoken about my partnership with my cousin's company, about how he's going to be deploying agentic AI in very, very soon, a streaming platform. Richard is amazing. Another Richard, right? And what he is going to unleash on Trinidad and Tobago is going to change everything. Not just filmmaking, but every single thing.
Okay.
All right. So Timothy Teemul, thank you so much for joining us. Interesting conversation. Thanks for taking the time to speak with us on The Breakfast Show. We appreciate that you did. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it as well.
Bye-bye, Timothy. And thanks for all the comments that we've gotten over on this show. Thank you very much for keeping us, how I should put it, in the forefront of your mind in terms of.
It's a very interesting conversation.
Yeah. But of course, we're a little late with the 8 o'clock news, and because, you know, I'm the professional one, we're on to news.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is your news update for Thursday, June 5th, 2025. I am Amanda Mitchell with New Era TT Radio and M&E TV. Justice Marcia Ayers-Caesar has quietly resumed duties as a High Court judge nearly 8 years after what the Privy Council ruled was her unlawful removal from office in 2017. Sources within the judiciary confirmed that Justice Ayers-Caesar returned to office about a month ago, though she is not currently handling matters in open court and is working more in the background, dealing with cases in chambers. In March, the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council delivered a landmark ruling declaring that her resignation letter submitted in April 2017 was null and void. The letter was not written by her, but was prepared by a judicial officer under instructions from then Chief Justice Ivor Archie. The Privy Council found that she was forced and threatened into signing it. The state is now expected to compensate her for 8 years of unpaid salary, allowances, and benefits, along with damages for breaches of her constitutional rights. The Tobago Regional Health Authority has officially launched an investigation into its controversial ambulance procurement process, as public outrage grows over what Minority Leader Kelvin Morris is calling Ambulance Gate. The investigation follows troubling reports that some newly acquired ambulances stalled while transporting patients to Roxborough Hospital. Originally priced at $5.5 million for 12 ambulances, the final cost has ballooned to over $17 million. The ambulances, delivered 15 months after the July 2023 contract award, were not fit for purpose and required modifications costing an additional $244,000 each. Morris has labelled the situation the greatest procurement betrayal of the Tobago people and called for the immediate resignation of THA Health Secretary Dr. Faith Rednor. He has written to the Anti-Corruption Investigations Bureau requesting a full criminal investigation. The Ministry of Transport and Civil Aviation has officially recalled all priority bus route letter permits numbered 0001 to 0645, with the permits becoming invalid as of July 1st, 2025. The recall follows Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar's recent criticism of the previous system, saying PBR passes were handed out like cookies and hops bread, calling them gifts without substance. She revealed that many of the recalled permits were letter passes issued for private vehicles at the discretion of the former Minister of Works and Transport. The Route 2 Maxi Taxi Association has backed the recall, with President Brenton Knight welcoming the removal of unauthorized vehicles from the PBR. Anyone wishing to reapply must submit new applications with supporting documents, including driver's license, certified copy of the vehicle, and proof of insurance. You are listening to news on New Era TT Radio. In regional news, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro is claiming that an armed group of men attempting to enter the country from Trinidad and Tobago has been intercepted. According to a report by Prensa Latina, Cuba's official news agency, President Maduro made the announcement during the swearing-in ceremony of the new governor of Sucre State. The men, described as being armed with weapons of war, allegedly tried to breach the Venezuelan border via Trinidad and Tobago. Maduro stated that half of those captured are of Colombian origin and were transported across the Caribbean Sea. He called on Venezuelans to remain vigilant, urging for 1,000 eyes and 1,000 ears to protect the nation. The president's comments come just days before Venezuela's upcoming elections. Authorities in both Trinidad and Tobago and Venezuela have not yet released official details on the alleged incident. In international news, tensions are rising after a major Ukrainian drone strike on Russian air bases. Russian President Vladimir Putin has warned of a response, calling Ukraine's government a terrorist organization during a phone call with former U.S. President Donald Trump. Trump, who shared details of the hour-long call, said Putin was very strong about reacting, but admitted the call wouldn't lead to immediate peace. He also confirmed the U.S. had no prior knowledge of the June 1st drone attack. The strike reportedly targeted Russian bombers, further straining fragile peace talks. Ukraine's President Zelensky dismissed ongoing diplomacy, saying no talks have brought lasting peace, and warned the world not to ignore Putin's threats. Meanwhile, Ukrainian officials are in Washington seeking more arms and sanctions against Russia. That concludes your news update for today. I'm Amanda Mitchell for New Era TT Radio and M&E TV. The Breakfast Show with Wendell, Richard and Sir Charles continues right after this short break.
That was news now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
San Fernando, we're here. The wait is over. The indisputable #1 comedy of 2025, Married and Mischievous, is in San Fernando for one night only at Sapper, Sunday, June 8th at 6:30 p.m. One show only. Tickets available at K Squared Fashion, C3 Center in Brentwood Mall, Fens by the Roundabout in Marabella, and at the Sapper box office, 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily from Monday, 2nd of June. Married and Mischievous, one night only at Sapper, Sunday, June 8th. Strictly adults only. Don't miss it. S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box. But of course, this is where we wrap it up on the breakfast show this morning. You know, this is our closing minutes as we head towards 8:15. On this Thursday morning, of course, a fantastic Thursday morning. The weekend begins tonight, people, at a second after midnight.
Yeah, remind me.
Remind you? What do you mean remind you?
It's
Very interesting.
I want to set up a little line here. By Rumbox, when Far Rockaway went next year in the country, and between you and Miss Henry, you two all come and we will line by Rumbox, right? I enjoy sometimes the chat. At least Far Rockaway, as I say, you have your opinion, but you've always been respectful, and I appreciate that, right? And most of the people on the chat have been respectful, and we really appreciate that. Right?
Yeah, the chat is coming alive these days, nicely.
Yeah, the chat has been on fire when we interview people, you know.
Oh, and Wendell, just as you talk to your fish, I just like just how you talk
to your fish.
I just like Tim. I just talk on my computer, you know. I just sit down and talk to my computer. You will believe some interesting conversations going on there.
You're mad. Yes, my fish, I just see them growing. What do you see your computer do?
Set up all of this.
It really was an enlightening conversation with Timothy. You know, I haven't spoken to him for a long time. You know, and he said it 16 years ago he was on the Power Breakfast Show. Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it really was a wonderful, enlightening. We say she bringing the trophy for Far Rockaway. So I'll see you all in August, right? God willing. So Kathy and Charles, I'll see you on Friday at Rumbox. That person who you just hang out with, and whatless person who you just hang out with, will be here on Friday too, right?
Say hello to Wendell.
All right, I'll say hello to Wendell for you. Take care, Richard.
Is that my darling Amanda?
No.
That's not Amanda? Sounded like Amanda. Anyway, so thanks, folks. Have an absolutely wonderful day. Remember, one life, live it. Don't forget there's a replay of this show that I just go home and watching this thing. I'll be watching this show in the afternoon. It's on M&E TV between 2 and 3 p.m. every day. We have a rerun, all right?
All right, have a fantastic day. Whatever you do, remember to smile and laugh. It's great for your health. So don't let nobody bother you and worry you. Smile and laugh. It's great for your health. Okay, and that's more important.
Candice Pascal, I'll see you in August too. We'll start having Friday lines at Rumbox. Somebody give me that idea, you know. They say, Friday lines on my Rumbox.
Of course, you can continue to listen on the stream and New Era TT Radio, and on TuneIn, New Era TT Radio. You can continue listening to the programming as we continue after this program ends. All right.
Don't forget to visit the YouTube channel so you can continue to like and subscribe, and check out the Breakfast Show on TikTok. I really want us to get a couple more hundred followers so we can go live on TikTok.
Absolutely. So, have a great day, everybody. This has been the
Breakfast Show.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The Breakfast Show got the vibes.